Day 2. Let's go. I'm going to use the same goblins as last time. We're going to be playing Verruckt, which was the first DLC map released for zombies. It had a zombies map in it. This was the second ever zombies map, and it was released in 2008? No, 9. Yeah, 2009. Playing this Takeo again.
Seems to be no power.
So this map is one of the only 2 maps to ever have this feature, and it's kind of sad it isn't, because it's a sick feature where if you're playing 4-player, two players are on each side of this door, and you aren't with each other. And the whole point is to meet up in the middle to turn on the power. So we got a door. Yeah, the zombies move a lot quicker in this match too. Nocturne Totem. Verruckt actually has a habit to have the quickest moving zombies in any zombies map, so this is not a surprise whatsoever. Crate power, and we're not even near the box. That's great. We only got 2 more World at War maps to go, because after this it will be Shinonuma, then the Giant, or Derice. And then we'll be on to Black Ops 1's maps, which that shouldn't take as long as this, because there's only 3 of them. 4 actually, never mind. Excuse me. 4 maps for...
I will soon
4
need
maps
ammunition.
Kino, Ascension, Call of the Dead, not Call of the Dead, Shangri-La, and Fire Moon. Then the only Black Ops 2 map on this is Origins, which is my favorite map of all time. And then we'll be on Black Ops 3, and then Black Ops 4. I'm not gonna hit that, because I actually want to keep the crate power until I get there. I'd take that later, though. The SCR is a solid rifle. I hate being on this side, mostly because like it's a really good camping spot to fight off zombies. But it's since I'm on this side and I'd rather not restart. This is what it is. This is also the first map to ever have moving boxes, and that was that made the map harder than most people remember. There's a lot of Easter eggs too. Like, this is one of the most atmospheric maps in zombies. Cause like you hear people yelling and screaming, and it's
nice timing.
Like, you gotta put yourself back in 2009 when this map came out. Like, Call of Duty was mostly known as like this action-oriented genre. Like, horror wasn't too established with it, but what they did was different. What they did differently this time is that they actually made like zombies quicker. They had like background sounds to make it even more creepier for the player. And yeah, that's fantastic. Already getting hounded on already.
Verruckt, focus.
But yeah, this was one of the most atmospheric maps until Mob of the Dead, which finally getting a remastered map, or a remake, in Black Ops 4. in the form of Blood of the Dead, which I will definitely be playing day one. But definitely expect a stream on October 12th, because I will be playing the absolute hell out of Black Ops 4 Zombies. It's gonna be something. It's probably my most anticipated game of the year. Mostly because I've been waiting 3 years for it. And mostly for zombies, nothing really else. Not much else really. The Blackout is nice, I played that, and that's a solid addition. Now, if I don't get a gun here, we might have to restart.
Roll up!
As you can see, they are moving ridiculously fast at this point. And, yep. Just gonna take that, don't worry about it. I was gonna take the assault rifle, but I would have been dead. Oh, now it gives me an max ammo, that's fine.
I keeps an out. Quick, kill as many as you can.
So yeah, the original strat was I was going to be here, but we might have to take it over here first for the strat. Anyways, we're going to turn on power though. First map to have powers. Well, this was the first map for a lot of things, because this was the first map with perks. This was the first map with power.
You kill me?
It was one of the
No,
most
I
revolutionary
kill you.
maps. And it is easily one of my favorites. But like, if I had the option to go back and if I had the option to play one map forever, it would not be verruckt. That's one big difference between it's the one thing I have to say is, like, if I had the option to play this or Origins, I would pick Origins, because Origins just has more to do. And personally, like, I like having, like, things to do. Which is why, like, you might see me say, like, when we get to Zetsubo no Shima, which is considered community-wide to be one of the worst maps, I don't find it as bad as maps such as Ascension, which is a fan favorite map. Now, Ascension isn't bad per se. No zombie map is bad in general. There are great, like, they're all, like, they'll have the good and bad portions of them. But this is one of those maps I would not come back and play for fun. Like, with Nocturne and Toten, I barely play it that, but that I play for nostalgic purposes. That map I played when I was 7 or 8 years old, and it just blew me away when I played it. But now, look at me 10 years later, this is like, compared to everything else that I've played, like, this is nothing.
Vengeance waits for no ammunition.
It's just a bare bones map, and sometimes you need a bare bones map to keep a person, you know, interested. Granted, this was 2008. It's 2018. There's a big difference between what was cool then and what's cool now. See, back then you didn't have to have too much in a zombies map, which is why you'll see like maps like Kino get like so much fan service. Realistically, it's just the giant. So yeah, and it wasn't until around Shino, actually I think it was this map where they actually started to kind of have a story to it.
I have no ammo. I have
Which
no honor.
I can sort of understand, because, you know, it's quite a popular. Like, I guess they saw that there's steam in it, and that people are interested in like what happened here, how did it happen. So I guess they said like, oh, you know, we might as well put a story in it. Like, I have no idea what they, how they thought it was gonna go as far as it did, but it did, and it gained a lot of attention. Like, there were people watching for like Easter eggs, like with every new zombie map, and that became a tradition. It honestly became a tradition, looking for Easter eggs in a zombies map. After, I think it was Shino that actually kicked that off, and then that spurred on like an entire community of people looking for Easter eggs, which is amazing to me. I still can't believe that it's been 10 years. Like, it does not feel like 10 years. It feels like I've only been playing these games for like 5. Oh yes.
Now with more honor.
Now, Pack-a-Punch, which is why all these guns are shooting laser beams now at this point, wasn't actually introduced until Derice, which that's another map after Shino. And that personally is my favorite World at War map because of it's just the best one. Like, if you ask anyone what their favorite zombies map was, a good percent would say Derice. Because of the catwalk and, you know, like, it was just fan favorite. It was just a classic. Like, if you look at, like, if someone put a list of, like, the best zombie maps per game, Derice would be on that list. Actually, if I had to rank, like, what everybody's favorite maps were per game, I'd say World at War, it was Derice, 100%. There's no real doubt about it. It was Derice. Black Ops 1 would probably be... I'm gonna take a bet and say Moon? Moon or Ascension. One of those two would definitely be a fan favorite. Personally, Moon is my favorite Black Ops 1 map, and it's one of my third favorite zombie map of all time. And that is because, like, it's just a sick map. It has a great Easter egg. Like, I remember in 2010 when I saw that Easter egg, I was shocked. This is also one of the first maps to actually have an Easter egg as well. If you go to the showers, which I'm not gonna because it plays a copyrighted song, I'd rather not get hit with a copyright strike. You will get the game over screen song from Nocturne Totem, which is Lullaby for a Dead Man by Elena Sigmund, I think so, yeah. And it was probably, like, everybody was like, what? There's gotta be more now. And then that spurred on a whole community of people looking for, like, people going and looking, just searching for everything. Like, of course, this all wasn't here. This is added after the fact. And you see here you got action figures like a Mob of the Dead zombies, Rick Toffin. Which, that wasn't in the original map, of course. map has a really horror movie vibe to it, and I think that's what they were going for with these maps when they released them, because like these things are like being like an 8-year-old and like seeing all this, it gives you nightmares. But nowadays you're just like, okay, this is sick. Don't need extra credit. I already have most of them. I already have the map overdone. Hope we could get the wonder weapon of this map, which is the Wonder Wall. There was no wonder weapon on the original version. In the Black Ops 1 remake, they had the Winter's Howl. Oh.
A weapon is an extension of one's own.
That just happened. I just got the Wonder Wall. Now all we need to get is a solid machine gun, and we can just sit in a corner for the rest of the match. That's self-medication. Don't need that. That's mostly See, on these maps, like, that's not necessary, because, like, if you die, you die. Like, you're not... Like, it's your own stupidity on this map, but on, like, maps like, say, Origins, for example, like, if you die, that's of your own stupidity. It's not really on you. It's either A, on where, like, the zombies are coming from, or B, if you had good guns or not. And, that actually gives you the ray gun when you're down, and if you kill someone, a zombie, when you're down, it will revive you, and you got 2 more charges of it. Which is, it's super helpful doing Easter eggs. I would like to do the Rainbow Perk Challenge on one of these. It's a community-made challenge where you get every perk in like the rainbow color order. So you'd start with Jug, I think. I think you'd start with Jug, and then you'd end with Widow's Wine. Depends on the map, though. If you're playing on Origins, you'd end with PhD.
We can continue the fight. Let the light of 1,000 suns purify your souls.
But if you're playing on this, it'd be Widow's Wine.
The spirits come to aid us.
I don't think this will be a long stream either, as opposed to yesterday, because like yesterday's stream, like we were playing Nocturne Totem, which, to be honest, I'm going to be straight up World at War maps. They're not as interesting as, say, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3's map. Or even BO1, because BO1 I can still play for like quite a long time and have talk about it. But World at War, I wasn't at this time. It's funny because I didn't start to become a full zombies player in the Black Ops chronology until around when Black Ops 1 started. So I only ever had one map, and that was Derice. I only had 2 maps, and that was Noct and Derice, and I played Derice a lot more than Noct, like mostly because of the pack-a-punch and the perks and the characters. Like, I played it way more, and that's not really a bad thing though, because Derice was definitely a classic. It's not an SM. That's not a but I'll take an MG. I'll take an heavy machine.
You had an unhappy ending.
But yeah, like I kind of fell in love with the characters, but nowadays they're kind of, compared to what characters have been released afterwards, like the Primus crew, which is the Black Ops 3 main characters, and like the Call of the Dead, the Mob of the Dead crew, like Shadows of Evil, like all those characters have been like super fleshed out with like funny jokes and that. Like, don't get me wrong, the 1.0 characters do. They do have funny jokes, except they are very few and far between. nowadays. Back in the day, they were freaking hilarious.
I am possessed by the power.
But now it's just like, oh, Nikolai's drunk, so whatever. That's the joke. As opposed to, you know, actual like funny related to the situation jokes. Because like I'm pretty sure they started reusing the quotes after Shima. They of course had to add new ones, but most of them were reused. Same thing with Black Ops 1. A lot of them were reused, and that's our first teddy bear. So, yeah. For most of for all of World at War and BO1, we played as, well, not all of World at War. It wasn't until Shino that these characters were introduced. They just put them in Chronicles because it was easier. Which I can understand that.
I will use my bare hand.
Because, like, I think they're going off the BO1 remakes for this. Yeah, like, then there's the blood showers and all that's good touches. But, yeah. These characters just, they have, like, the most fleshed out backstory. But
Strike was weak.
They also have one of the most annoying character moments. And like I said, I have no problem with these characters. These are characters I grew up with until Black Ops 2. It's just compared to today, they are not the best. Now granted, the transit crew are not much better, and there we go.
Now this is what I'm talking about.
Because the transit crew are just insufferable. They are one of the worst characters in video games. Now granted, the Zombies comic books made them better. That's their zombie comic books. But they are simply just, they get on your nerves. Is all it is. Like, they only have, where, like, you know, the Black Ops 1 characters, like, they have depth, some depth to their characters. Like, you know, like, but then there's, like, Misty from Black Ops 2, and the only thing about her is she's a chick. She's a hillbilly chick, and that's about her only personality trait. There's not too much character development, as opposed to like the Primus crew from Black Ops 2 and Origins. Like, talk about the disdain of each other. So like these characters, they don't get along. And that's kind of been a staple of Zombies, is that most of the characters don't get along, but they have to work with each other. But in Black Ops 3, with the characters, like, you see them gradually grow over this season, to, like, liking each other and respecting each other, and, like, becoming, like, I wouldn't say friends, but more stronger allies.
Divine wind carries you away. To the box.
But if I say they're the worst characters, no. If I say they're the best, definitely not. So yeah. And if there's any Easter eggs that I can do, and if I could show you, I will show you in these streams. But a good deal of Easter eggs, you need 4 players to be able to be done.
wombat! You die! Not on this day, tormented soul!
So yeah, I'd say we're gonna do is pretty much like last time, go to round 20 or 21, end it there. That would be the stream. Yeah. I really do enjoy verruckt. It's definitely one of my... Wouldn't put it too high up on the list, but it's... Out of the maps, this would make a solid... Out of all 21 maps that have been made, are... It is a it's very hard to tell, but I'd say it's around middle. It's around 15, I'd say. It's not really good, but it's not bad. Like, there are some maps in here that I would just rather never play again. And, like, a lot of them, like, I thought I was going to enjoy as well. Like, I'm gonna use as an example, and
strike was weak.
Shangri-La. Actually, no. I thoroughly do enjoy Shangri-La at some points. It's another one of those middle maps where I can go with it. I can deal with it, and I can deal without it. But Transit, the first map of Black Ops 2, awesome.
Destruction reigns on the
like,
unholy.
After playing Origins, I would never go back to playing Transit. I'd only play Origins, and that's not like cherry picking either. It's just because I love Origins, and it's my favorite map of all time. It is just, and like I won't forget like playing that map for the first time. Like it was. Like it's hard for me to fully extend how much I actually like Origins. Like when I play Origins on this, which is very soon, like that's 5 days from now, 5 or 6 days. I'm gonna say 6 to be safe. But that map is like there's like a limit to other maps, like say in Doris, like there's a limit to what you can do, or like Horizon Draft, where it's just like, oh, like after you do this point, you can't do anything else. Origins always has something to do. Like, haven't upgraded the stats, you can go upgrade them. Like, want to go get a free pack punch LMG? Go around the map with the Maxis drone, get 5 slabs. Wanna friggin' use the giant robots cannons? So go fill up a stone. Like, there are so many things to be done in those maps. Like, it is insane. And maps like Mob of the Dead as well are like another one of those no limit maps. Mob of the Dead has a limit. I'll say that Mob of the Dead has a limit. It's like once you get the Acid Gat or Blunder Gat, whatever, and you just go in the Hell's Redeemer. You just go to the bridge, and then that's it. You'll get to round friggin' 1,000,000 at that point. Now, I'm not saying that that's fault of the map. Trust me, Mob of the Dead is one of my favorite maps. But it is definitely a weaker map. In terms of, like, there's a limit. I'm not gonna say it's one of the weaker maps. It's a bit too harsh on it. But anyways, I think that's where I'm gonna call the stream. Thank all none of you for coming out again. I really don't care. This is mostly just a this is just something I like to do. You know, it's That's just a fun little side project. So thank you all for coming out, and peace.